The award-winning Beyond Vaudeville program with your host, Frank Hope, and your co-host, David Green. Extra special guest co-host, Chauncey Howell. Special superstar actress, Kim Hunter. Rockabilly King, Red Lightning. Angel Watch Network founder, Eileen Freeman. International singing sensation, Margarita Pracatan. And lots more.
Special co-host today. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Chauncey Howell to the program.
Thank you. Margarita Pracatan, right, Margarita?
That's right.
I met her. We met on Columbus Avenue. We did a cha-cha up and down the street.
Oh, okay. So you're like old friends.
Yes.
Oh.
Margarita Pracatan.
Pracatan. Okay. And now, before we get started, we just want to quick show some things. The Conehead dolls I was able to get. And actually, very inexpensively, they had a lot of them left over, and they had the Beldar guy and his wife, and their kid in the golfing outfit, right? Well, they're good to have, I guess, right? Collector's items,
you can't have enough of those.
right? And also the Last Action hero. This was the Schwarzenegger guy, right?
Look at that guy.
Have you met him?
Arnold? I sat next to him on a plane with his wife. What's her name? Maria.
Shriver, right?
She was off to interview or do a piece on Fergie's wedding. This was some time ago, and she was reading a book called The Royal House of Windsor, a comic book. She was doing her research, I guess, to cover in preparatory to covering the wedding. It was
a
comic book version of the House of Windsor's history.
Wow.
So she was boning up on her royals.
Oh, now, Mr. Howell, you're working for the New York One.
You may call me Chauncey. Yes, I am.
Chauncey,
Yeah.
The New York One channel
New York
now.
One. That's right. It's great. It's wonderful. 24 hours a day.
And
nonstop wonderment.
And I saw you on the for the Halloween parade. You were in the pouring rain. That was.
Yes, I got soaked. Lay down in a puddle at the end. Figured, what else could I do?
But it was fun, though, right?
I enjoyed it. Yes, I like showing off.
Right.
Remember when you were a child and your mother said to you, "Stop showing off," and you did. Well, that was wrong. You should have kept showing on.
Oh.
Kept on showing off, but trying to do it better each time.
Well, that's good advice
so
for
mothers
parents
out there should tell their kids to show off more.
Right, and
they can end up like us.
Well, David and I grew up together, and his mother was like that too.
Really?
She told him to always be polite and.
Don't show off.
Right,
I can't stand it when you show off.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, now we want to bring our guests out so we can all talk together, Mr.
Great.
Howell.
That's why we came.
And if we might introduce our next guest, we're very excited to have. This is actually the first Academy Award winner that we've had on the program, so it's very exciting for us. Please welcome the one and only Ms. Kim Hunter.
Here we are. What a pleasure. Now, can I put this on?
Oh, can you?
Or,
Should I sit down
sit
first?
down, yes,
Yes.
sit down.
I'll sit down first.
Yes.
Ah.
And then how do we put that on?
Just
I
clip
don't
it
know.
on there.
I'll put it on.
Did I do it here?
Oh,
right
I'm
here?
so
Right
glad
there.
you're able to help us,
What is this
Mr.
jewel?
Oh,
Howell.
on the jewel?
Oh,
So that
boy.
kind of shut the
There we
side.
go.
Okay.
We're okay.
Oh, all right.
Wow. Well,
Very good.
Miss Hunter, I really am honored to have
I'm
you here
delighted to meet
today. And now, well, first thing I have to ask you is, have you learned yet how to play pinochle?
No,
Okay.
no, I gave it up.
Now, the reason I asked that was because I read when you were given your Academy Award, you were actually here in Greenwich Village learning how to play pinochle,
That's right. My husband was trying to keep my mind off the terror.
Oh, okay.
And then suddenly, all of New York seemed to come to our apartment.
Oh boy.
Because we didn't go where they were.
Uh-huh.
They came to us. In our little two-room apartment, there were 60 people that night.
And
That was the last year of the radio presentations, you know.
okay, then it went to the TV after
Yeah,
after
after
that.
that.
And Mr. Howell, you live in the village also,
Yes,
right?
I do. I live on Charles Street.
Oh.
What street did you live on?
Then we lived on Grove Street. Now we
Oh,
live
right
on
around
Commerce.
the corner from me, probably. You live on Commerce Street
Commerce
now?
now.
We didn't have trees then, did we? Now they planted
No,
trees
we
all
have
over the
lovely
village.
trees.
Wow.
My block was a slum in the 60s. Then suddenly we planted these beautiful Bradford Calorie pear trees, and they're up and down the block. And
Wow.
people say, "What a beautiful block you live on." And I say, "Well, 20 years ago it was a slum."
Oh.
See,
Well,
trees make a big difference.
It's
certainly do.
it's great that that you two choose to stay here because so many people go out to Hollywood and LA, but you
Nobody
I
asked me to
started
go
out
out there.
there.
so I would have gone, believe me. They've got better trees out there too. They
No.
got
No, I
eucalyptus
moved from
trees.
Hollywood to here.
Oh, all
Really?
right.
Did you?
Yes. I lived out there for 5 years.
What
And
was the
then-
problem with the place?
It's a nice place to work. I do love it to work, but I didn't find it a terribly friendly, gemütlich place to live. I mean, unless you're in for surfing and things like that.
Did you feel that they had guacamole dip for brains?
Oh boy.
That was the big
Sometimes.
problem out there?
Well, a little. It was so.
They're
I
good
don't know.
looking though.
Oh,
okay.
yes. Gorgeous.
Well, now.
And you could only get one tan at a time
That's right.
anyway, you know.
Now, Ms. Hunter, I did bring some photographs, and I mentioned your Academy Award was with the classic Streetcar named Desire, and this I have these two photos here. This was a very dramatic scene with the radio.
Oh,
being
yes,
thrown,
yes.
And now I also brought a photo. Of course, I grew up watching you in the Planet of the Apes movies. You were in the first three of them here, and this is you in your makeup and out of your makeup, obviously.
Yes.
And, right,
Thank you.
and now, do people recognize? What do people recognize you most for? Like when you're on the street, do they?
They don't recognize me at
Oh,
all.
okay. Oh, wow.
Oh, come on. I can't believe that.
Well, they do more now since I had a cataract surgery and I don't have to wear glasses anymore. Without glasses, I find more people do recognize
Is that right?
me. That's
Hey,
interesting.
oh look.
Wow.
How are you?
Oh my God!
Oh,
Hi, honey.
you know, if we were
How
as
are
good
you?
as puppets, we'd be stars, wouldn't we? I mean, look at these things. Aren't they great? They're so expressive. I wish they spoke. Does this one speak? No.
No. Oh dear. Bye.
That's what I
So
love about this show.
now, Miss Hunter. So if
Oh, that one
Oh.
speaks.
oh,
Oh,
Oh.
how are you?
It's got a
a
whistle.
loudmouth puppet.
okay. Well, I'm glad you guys acquainted yourselves with the
Yes.
puppets there. So if I got cataract surgery, could I get rid of my glasses, or how do?
Well, that's what happened with me. I mean, this eye I can see, and this
Right.
one I have a contact lens,
Okay.
and I'm much better off without glasses now.
How?
I use them to read. Yes, I have to have them to read,
Right. Okay.
but
yeah.
not to see.
Now, I brought along another photo, and I couldn't find a photo from this movie, but this was one of my. This movie really scared me when I was a kid that you were in, and Bad Ronald with Scott Jacoby. You remember that?
That was a television thing. Yes.
Right, right, and it was this was Scott Jacoby. What happened to this kid? Is he still acting or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably grew up.
Right.
I hope.
I guess. No, but that was really a scary movie. I thought.
It was?
I thought so.
Yeah, you
As
agree?
I guess it was filmed. Yes, I guess it was, but I don't think I ever saw it.
No.
It probably came on the air when I was working in theater.
Right.
So I missed an awful lot of what television shows that I did because of that.
And now you've been in TV since 1948. Is that right? With the Actors Studio program.
I think that was the first one I did. Yes.
And then since then you've done just about everything, Cannon and Gunsmoke and all those shows. And,
Just about.
And so now lately, do you work in the theater or are you?
I work where the work is.
Okay.
I actually this past year I did 2 television things, but specials. You know, 2-parters. The Hurricane Andrew. Eileen Heckert and I played 2 elderlies struggling through the hurricane.
Oh.
That we shot all down in Florida, and then I also did another one called Bloodlines: A Death in the Family. That was a true story. Actually, one of the chaps that was in the story itself was still on trial,
Right.
and Sam Wanamaker and I played the parents that they killed in order to get the money and get rid of us.
Oh, and now do you stay in touch with a lot of these people, with the other actors and actresses after you do the movies and shows, or
Sometimes, not always, but yes, sometimes.
do you talk to them?
Depends whether our paths cross after having worked together or not.
Do you still talk to Mr. Brando, or
No, I haven't seen him for years.
Oh.
Would love to, but haven't. Carl Malden, I do. Yes.
Oh, right, and he won the Academy Award too, right?
Yes.
For the movie.
Yes, indeed.
Right. Well, now, Ms. Hunter, we do want you to stay with us, but we wanted to bring out some other guests as well,
Want me to
if we
move over
could,
there?
if you don't mind,
I don't
please.
mind.
The next guest we want to introduce is actually another performer, a singer, and we want to welcome the one and only Mr. Red Lightning to the program.
Hey,
No.
And is that everything okay there? Thank you.
Who wants to sell the soul? I do a bargain
You're
rate.
moving over?
Wow, Red, that's quite a.
Before I forget all about it, I just want to say hi to all the girls, including Cheryl, at the little car shop around the corner.
Oh.
And don't you dare drop out of my, don't you dare drop out of my fan club.
Wait, okay, and now, Mr. Lightning, you want to grab a microphone and do a little number for us over there? You got the
Yeah, sure, I'd love
microphone?
Oh, by the way, if Cynthia's watching, please forgive me for smoking in your presence and on television.
Okay, and just speak into the microphone, Mr. Lightning, and there we go. Wow, that's some outfit you've got there.
Where'd you get this thing from? Goodwill Industries?
Okay. Oh boy.
Let's see now. Is it on?
Okay.
Am I live? I don't hear anything.
We're set. They say they hear you. So.
Okay, wait, whoa. Just before we begin, I need room to move and groove, so I'm taking this baby off.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Now that we've disrobed, here we go. Oh boy, here we go. A 1 and a 2 and a. All my life I've been waiting. Tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. All my hugging, all my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. Now the stars appear and the shadows are falling. Can't you hear my heart a-calling? I want to love you with all my might. Baby, you're really out of sight. All my loving, all my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. Rop-dee-dee-op-bop, oh boy, rop-dee-dee-op-bop, oh boy. Rop-bop-dee-dee-bop-bop, dee-dee-dee-dee-bop-bop, dee-dee-bop-bop-dee-dee, bop-bop-dee-dee-bop-bop-dee-dee-bop-bop. All my loving, all my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. All my life I've been waiting. Tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. Bop-diddly-op-bop, oh boy. Bop-diddly-op-bop, oh boy. Bop-diddly-op-bop, oh boy. Bop-diddly-op-bop, oh boy. The world will see for me.
Wow. Great.
Puppets
Well,
love that
please
one.
join us, Mr. Lightning.
This puppet
Okay.
loved
And
you.
maybe just get that
The
microphone back
puppet
over.
loved me.
We loved you too, but the puppet loves you even
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Now, Mr. Lightning, you're the rockabilly king, right?
You better believe it, baby.
Right. And now you've been performing how long?
Since I was 9 years old.
9 years old. Wow.
Uh-huh.
And-
I've been singing since I was 9, and I'm getting tired. I've been
And did you play all over the U.S. or?
I've been down south. I've been to Canada. I've been a little all over the place, you know.
Right. And
My feet are tired too.
and
Do you agree with Loretta Lynn, who said life is lived the way these songs is wrote?
Uh-huh. Yeah. And when I sing those love ballads, I just ain't singing. Boy, I'm practicing what I'm preaching.
oh.
You're
wow.
in love.
Now, Mr. Lightning, we do want to bring everyone out so we can all sit and talk. And
You don't love me no more.
But no, oh no, please stay, Mr. Lightning, and we'll have plenty of time to talk. But we just want to make sure we get everyone out. And if we could please introduce a very special author who has a book out now called "Touched by Angels," and please welcome Ms. Eileen Freeman to the program.
Okay, Eileen, here, you can have my seat here.
Okay. Hello, Miss Freeman. How are you?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Let me just, these microphones just don't, are always a problem, I think. Now,
There we go.
okay. Now, you wrote this book, and you head something called the Angel Watch Network, right?
Yes, the Angel Watch Network is a clearinghouse for information about angels,
Right.
What they're doing in the world today, and what happens to people when their lives are touched by angels. As part of it, I write the only magazine in the entire world about angels.
Okay. Now, you yourself met your first angel when you were just 5 years old, right?
Yes, I was going through a very, very tough period after the death of my grandmother,
Right.
when I was very afraid of life and afraid of what would happen. And my angel came to me early one night, soon after I had been put to bed, in a wonderful light at the foot of my bed. And he told me not to be afraid, that my grandmother was not in a cold grave, that she was happy in heaven with God and the people she loved. And he told me that there was no need for me ever to be afraid again, that he was my guardian angel. And I never was afraid again either.
And did he look like the way angels are always look in the movies with wings and a halo and all that?
The halo was represented by the light that surrounded him. I certainly didn't see any wings, although I know people who have encounters with angels, and they do see beings with wings because that's what they would expect to see if they saw an angel.
Well, I guess. And now, this angel's name was Ennis, right?
Ennis,
Your
yes.
first angel. And has anyone else on the panel had encounters with angels, or Mr. Lightning, you? And
Well, once and only once in my life.
right?
Oops, thank you. Yeah, once and only once in my life, I practiced something, well, to use a very, very ancient word created in Atlantis. I practiced ekankar, which means out-of-body travel.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just laying there, you know, one night on a couch in the lobby where I was working as the midnight doorman and elevator operator.
Okay.
And it must have been about, say, close to about 3:30 in the morning. So I just laid the paperback book I was reading across my chest, you know, and I already had my shoes kicked off, my tie loosened up, and I used my jacket for a pillow. So I'm just laying there. All of a sudden, my eyes started to go like this. And next thing you know, I'm out like a light. And the next thing you know, here I am. I'm like a balloon on the end of a string, and I'm bobbing back and forth like this. And I'm looking right down at my body, still laying there with the paperback book laying across my chest. And the weird part was, I wasn't scared.
Right.
Believe me, I wasn't scared.
Right.
I just was curious. I said, what am I doing up here when I see me down there? And all of a sudden, there was the, rapping on the glass doors of the building where I was working. It was the old man and the old lady out there with suitcases. They must have come in from the airport.
Oh.
So all of a sudden, whoosh, I shot back inside my body, jumped up like a bullet, and went to get the suitcases, and took them up in the elevator. When I came back, I sat down on the couch, lit up a cigarette,
Like St. Joseph of Cupertino, we were talking about him earlier.
Yes.
Oh,
He
In the
used to fly.
17th century, he's a Franciscan
and he flew
in Italy who was reputed to be able to fly.
without wings or
Without wings.
But of course, he was a human being, and angels belong to a totally different race of beings. Angels aren't human beings at all.
Right. Okay. And now you hear from people all the time that have met angels,
Hundreds
right?
and hundreds of people. My magazine, Angel Watch, always has first-person accounts. And in fact, in Touched by Angels, I have some very extraordinary stories of people whose lives have been touched by angels, either by angels who appeared as human beings or in a more ethereal form or in near-death encounters. In fact, the end papers in my book were done by a wonderful angel artist named Andy Lakey, whose story of seeing an angel in a near-death encounter is in my book. And Andy's life was so changed by that he now paints artwork for the blind.
Oh.
What sex are they generally?
I don't think angels have sex per se, but I do think they have gender. I'm not sure what that gender is, whether it's
angelic,
masculine or
whatever it is,
feminine
yeah.
or something different. There were some medieval theologians who speculated that every angel was its own gender, which means myriads of genders. We only know 2 on Earth.
Certainly Michael, though, is male, isn't he? And Gabriel.
Michael is almost always
They're mentioned
portrayed
in the
as male. I think of Gabriel as feminine, even though Gabriel is clearly portrayed as masculine
Then he'll be
in the Bible.
Gabriel.
Perhaps he or she is, monsieur.
Wow.
On ne savait pas.
It's an interesting subject, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
I
what
mean-
kind of feathers are on their wings? Seriously, I'm not joking, but
There
are
were
they like
two-
swan wings or like?
Swan wings were one tradition
wings.
because the swan was considered the most beautiful bird in existence. But
Until you
the
look at its
other-
feet. Very ugly feet, swans.
And the beak.
That's why they're in the water all the time, you see. They don't want you to see their feet.
But the other tradition has them with eagle's wings because eagles were considered the strongest and noblest of birds.
What
Of
about
course, they don't have
cherubs?
wings.
Cherubs and seraphs are the big ones, the grown-up ones.
Seraphs-
Seraphim.
Seraphim
and the
are perhaps
cherubim
a
are the-
different kind of
the
angel.
Kid angels.
Well, the cherubim are actually very ferocious-looking angels. They go back to an old Babylonian model with wings and lion's feet and a human head, and they're very ferocious. The little cherubs are putty as
They're putty. They're from the sons of Venus, aren't they? In a sense, from the
It could
classical
be.
times.
There's also a theory
got
that they were developed
Christianized.
in the Middle Ages after the Black Death, when the plague took many people's lives,
Really?
and including children, and this was supposedly in art a way to
Wow.
comfort their parents.
That's a fact.
Wow, wow, that's quite a
1348.
conversation there.
Yes.
This is like public television today, I think.
Yes.
The conversation. Now,
but better, really.
Much
better.
Yes, and
It's sort
now,
of spontaneous. And
now,
strange.
Miss Hunter, you were in something. You were in a movie called The Seventh Victim, which had devil worshipping in it, right?
Yes, devil worshippers.
Right, and the great Hugh Beaumont was in that movie, right?
That's right.
But it was now he was very nice on the Leave It to Beaver program, but some of his early movies he wasn't very nice in the movies.
Well, the nicest person with The Seventh Victim was our producer.
Okay.
Yes.
And,
He was the one who brought all these kind of films together. It was my first film, but films that were all mysteries and scary films, very scary.
right.
But he had the marvelous concept of putting the fear within you. He didn't put it on screen.
Oh.
You rarely saw any blood. But you knew it was happening behind a door.
Oh boy.
That kind of thing. So that your imagination is what took over. I loved him.
And not like the movies today with all the blood and.
That's right. None of that.
Right. Now we do have another guest we want to bring out, so we can all be out. This is a very talented singer who sings in various languages, and we'd like to introduce, please, Ms. Margarita Pracatan.
Hello.
That's okay, Ms. Freeman.
How are you?
Okay, and Margarita, you're going to start with a song for us,
Of
please?
course, it's much better.
Okay.
You know, I am so excited to be here.
Just give you my microphone there.
Ah, yes, mi amor.
Okay.
How is everybody? Okay? On the
Good, we're
control?
happy.
Okay.
We're
I am
happy.
going to sing Crazy. Because crazy, that is how everybody are, you know, to be crazy. It's okay, mi amor.
You okay? Okay.
Do-
Now,
don't you
more,
like-
that means...
My love.
Oh, boy.
My love.
Okay.
Let me see. You know, everybody is crazy. To be alive, you have to be crazy. But most of the people, they are a little lonely sometimes. And when they are a little lonely, so you sing crazy to be lonely, crazy to be alive. So we see. Crazy for feeling so lonely. I am crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you love me alone, grow me, and then someday you leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself so worry? Wondering, why did I do? Crazy, for thinking that my love will hold you. I am crazy for crying, I crazy for loving you. Thank you.
Very nice, Pracatan.
Thank you.
Did I say that right, Mr. Howell? Pracatan?
She said, no, Pracatan.
Pracatan.
Not Pracatan. Pracatan.
Okay. And
You
you
roll those R's.
well, please have a seat. Oh,
Any
okay.
place is
thanks.
good for me.
Okay. Oh, well, here we.
Every place.
Okay. Have a seat here, and so we can.
The star seat.
Oh,
Star.
mi amor, I love you.
Mano.
I love you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, God.
Now you ended that song with a little cha-cha-cha. Do you do that with all your songs?
I do everything with a little cha-cha-cha.
Okay.
It's much better because you have to put in life a lot of happiness and a lot of reader like, don't be so sad about anything.
Right.
Because life is very serious and they got problems. So you have to fight to be happy. It's very important. Right, gorgeous?
That's good advice.
No. And when somebody die, I go and I sing happy birthday.
Oh.
Don't you know I sing happy birthday? You know why? Because it's the finish. I say, now he's dreaming, and now he's dreaming forever and want to be with the angels.
And the
Angels,
with
the
the
angel.
one. Okay.
Yes?
Well, everything's coming together very well.
Yes,
I
when
guess,
you die, right? Don't you say when you die, you go fly and beautiful. That is how I think.
Okay. Well, now I.
Certainly go and be with the angels. No
Yes.
question about that.
Look at me, I am an angel already.
Oh, you're on your way.
No, yet. Excuse me. No.
Now I promised our lovable Joey the monkey that he could come on today.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
We better bring him out quickly
Joey the
before we
monkey.
run
Oh,
out of
he's so
time here.
great.
Hi, Joey.
Joey.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
You're gonna dance
You
for us,
oh,
Joey.
Joey, good to see you.
All right.
You don't like set a puppet.
Joey's music ready. Joey, did you like the Planet of the Apes movies?
Monkey angels and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, really? You hear that? Monkey Angels and Hinduism.
Set the cheap feet to the monk. Set the monkey to the chimp. All night long they chatter away.
Okay, keep dancing, Joey, but we're going to have to say goodbye. So thanks for watching the Beyond Vaudeville program. We want to thank all our special guests, Mr. Chauncey Howell.
My pleasure.
Please watch him on
My
New York
favorite
One.
show.
And Ms. Kim Hunter, thank you very much for coming on. And please, Eileen Freeman, don't miss her book, Touched by Angels, from the Warner Company. And Red Lightning, thank you very much. And Ms. Margarita Pracatan,
Margarita Pracatan.
Oh, I love you, baby. Oh.
And David, thank you for joining us again. And thank you, Joey.
Oh, what a show. This is great.
Yeah. I like it very much.
This is cute. You were great. You were great.
Oh,
You were great. Wasn't she great?
yes.
You were great too. We were all
Thank
great.
you. We all were wonderful.
Everybody was great.
There was enough ham to open a delicatessen.
He was even greater than we were.
Yes. He was the greatest.
He was the greatest. Hey, I love that velour shirt. That's great.
Okay, thank you, Joey.
That
Wow.
was marvelous
What a show.
today.